A movie starts in a forest in Alaska way back in 1979. Two wood-chopping folks finish their day, send signals to home base, and prepare to head back. But wait for it. A flying saucer swoops in and squashes one of their trucks. Communication is toast after that. One of the guys survives, but gets grabbed by an alien while he's trying to pull a ninja escape move into the woods. Now, skip to modern times and say hello to Isaac Cypress, a computer geek at NASA in sunny California. Isaac walks into work one day and his buddy Beck drops the bomb that they're picking up signals from Canada without a satellite in sight. Later that night, Isaac's chilling in his office when his gadgets go haywire. He's all glitch city. Next day, Isaac has a therapy session where the shrink suggests making video diaries to chill his brain. So, he starts recording, and suddenly he's peeking into other dimensions like a cosmic peephole. The next morning, cue the sky show, a meteor crashing through like the galaxy's biggest fireworks display. Isaac's out hiking, captures it on camera, and decides he's a one-person National Geographic. He films a sneaky spacecraft after the meteor's grand entrance. Out of nowhere, an alien pops up like it's auditioning for an interstellar sitcom. Isaac's camera is on duty, and guess what? The alien's in no-harm mode and just strolls off. Isaac's like, wow, but dashes away like he's the star of a sprinting competition. Next day, newsflash. Meteor mayhem is all over the headlines. Isaac should be collecting space rock samples, but he's pulled a magic vanishing act. Days later, he wakes up by the water, totally clueless. Checking his camera, bam, he's been alien napped. Also, his arm hurts like it's auditioning for a horror movie. Isaac realizes he can do something strange while trying to get back home. When he stares at things directly, they vanish. And if he keeps looking, they reappear. In the hospital, it's official, he's diagnosed with need more water and gets a Netflix and rest prescription. The doctor spots a tiny crack on Isaac's arm, not so big, but seriously smooth, like a laser's artistic touch. Now picture Isaac striding into the office, all set to flaunt his mind-bending superpower to Beck. He starts with a cup trick, but hold on. Beck gives that cup a look like it's just a regular old cup, not a magical prop. Isaac's puzzled, so he brings out the big guns, a video of his alien escapade while hiking. He shares it online, and the internet goes wild. But wait, drama alert. A TV station calls, and Isaac's expecting the star treatment. But guess what? Instead of applause, it's more like raised eyebrows and blushing frustration. Hang tight. Even though Isaac's interview becomes the talk of the town, it's not the real deal, like spotting a unicorn at a zoo. People are side-eyeing his video as if it's a parade of rubber chickens. They even roll out a random guy on TV claiming he's the mastermind behind it all. Talk about a buzzkill. It's like Isaac's truth train got stuck at the station. But Isaac's not giving up. He's on a mission to find another alien buddy. Jackpot! He tracks down Sarah, who's got her own alien tale to tell. They decide to meet up at a local joint for a chat. Now fast forward, Isaac's waiting, and suddenly things get weird. Objects start floating around him, like an anti-gravity show. Sarah enters, and the alien questioning begins. Isaac's firing off questions about the arm cut and UFO sightings, but Sarah's got a puzzled expression. Isaac's not backing down. He shows his camera's greatest hits and every piece of alien-themed proof he's got, like a cosmic detective on the case. Hold tight, because here comes the plot twist wilder than a roller coaster loop. Sarah spills the beans about a 1,979 alien event, starring a guy named Carl who vanishes after sharing his story. Spooky, right? Now zip back to the present. Isaac's in the spotlight, facing a lie detector test to prove his alien encounter. And guess what? He nails it. But wait, we're going sci-fi turbo. Men in black suits start tailing him, and before he knows it, he's in a showdown. Isaac's running for his life, and then bam, reality hits with a bullet, and he's caught. Major cliffhanger alert. And just when you thought things couldn't get crazier, Isaac wakes up tied to a chair in a room full of androids. Sarah also gets caught and is kept in another room against her will. But hold up, there's a surprise. Meet the bad guy in all his glory, Agent William Graves. Graves, our determined guy, thinks Isaac's got some serious intel that can be a game changer for humanity. So, he gets to work and starts a series of tests. Isaac's the main player here, asked to stare at objects in another room. Even though Isaac's pretty freaked out, the tests keep coming, and they keep bugging him about someone named Carl. Thing is, Isaac's got zero clue about Carl, but Graves isn't giving up. He gets antsy, brings up British Columbia, where Carl's supposedly lurking, and things get intense. Suddenly, Isaac seizes the moment, jumps out of the chair, and takes down 2 androids like a champ. He dashes to Sarah's spot and puts his cool power to use, freeing her. They bolt, but the androids are on their tail. Mid-chase, Isaac pulls off a move with his power, opens an emergency exit, and poof, they're out. And guess where they are? Costa Rica. Meanwhile, Agent Graves isn't slacking off. He sends his androids after our duo, suspecting they're headed to British Columbia in search of Carl. Back to Isaac and Sarah after surviving the jungle, they hatch a plan to find Carl. Problem is, they're in Costa Rica with no Google. But then, a local girl comes to the rescue. She points them toward a hacker named Zed. The journey takes them to Zed's jungle cabin. And guess what? The bad guys after them are part of the ISRP, some international space agency. Zed offers his help and starts digging for Carl's info. Good news, he's got connection. So, they're at Zed's comfy treehouse, and Sarah spills the beans about her alien abduction story. Turns out, they've got more in common than they thought. And while they're bonding, Zed's on the hunt for Carl's whereabouts, but nada so far. Isaac's got a light bulb moment. He remembers that mysterious signal from Canada that he and Beck were picking up. They sync up the signal with GPS magic and boom, they track down Carl. Surprise? Size? Carl's churling in a remote spot near British Columbia. They try to video chat with him, but here's the kicker: when Isaac starts talking, Carl hangs up like it's a telemarketer. Isaac's not giving up though. He gives it another shot, catches Carl's attention by spilling his own alien abduction story. Oh, and he mentions that signal hiccup he thought was just a glitch. Carl's curious and asks Isaac to send over the signal. And guess what? When they decode it, it spills the beans aliens are RSVP in a Carl's place in 5 days. Isaac's like, hold up, I need to be there to save the day. Sarah's not thrilled about the idea, she thinks it's too risky. But after some Isaac-style convincing, she's on board. Even Zed decides to join the crew. The trio hops on a jet bound for British Columbia, while the agents are using their trackers to follow something. But our heroes are no quitters. They switch to a train to get to Carl's neck of the woods. Only thing? The androids are still playing catch-up. Zed tries a mask trick, but it's a fail, so they're back to running. But they're not giving up, and with a clever last-minute move, they outsmart the androids and reach their destination. And there they are, at Carl's cabin. But guess who's there to welcome them? Carl, gun in hand. Once he recognizes Isaac's voice from their chat, he chills out. He turns off the trackers the agents had planted on Isaac and Sarah's arms. Then, he invites them to crash at his cabin for a couple of days. Inside the cabin, the trio discovers Carl's been a busy bee. He's been inventing gizmos to decode the alien audio signal, trying to chat them up like cosmic pen pals. The signal Isaac stumbled upon, it's the jackpot, the clearest one ever. Carl spills his own alien abduction beans, sharing his wild story. But hold on to your hats, the agency's closing in on the cabin, ready to crash the party. Inside the cabin, Zed becomes very surprised and impressed. He just found out that Carl has made a bunch of amazing inventions, all in an effort to talk to the aliens. Later, as Isaac and Sarah take a breather outside, they spill the beans something's changed within them after their close encounters of the alien kind. Back at the cabin, Carl assembles Isaac and gives him the lowdown to be prepared and in sync with the gang. He makes it clear that safety isn't on the menu for any of them. As darkness takes over, Sarah's tossing and turning, her brain's revving up like a caffeine-fueled squirrel on a marathon treadmill, all thanks to worries about the day ahead. Isaac, playing the caring card, pats her on the back by sharing his joy in having a Sherlock-level understanding of Sarah. The much-awaited day saunters in. Our trio's lounging in the cabin, keeping fingers crossed for a sign. Suddenly, a mini earthquake spices up the scene. Isaac, with his detective hat on, steps out to hunt for the UFO, and what do you know, he's staring down an extraterrestrial buddy. Isaac plays tour guide and ushers the alien VIP back to Carl's crib, where he unleashes a decryption gadget for a good old chat. The aliens flex their intergalactic muscles, boasting mastery over medicine, science, tech, and even gym workouts probably. They're after something bigger, the cosmic cheat code, the grandest existence. Oh, and they're itching to know about Jesus Christ, thinking he's the VIP pass to all things origin or related. Sarah, in her thinking cap, wonders why her arm's been throwing tantrums since the whole abduction escapade. The alien whips out a sleek bracelet. Wrist flicks it onto Sarah's arm and dishes the dirt they've been keeping tabs on her via a sneaky tracking device. Meanwhile, the ISRP cops are hopping on their "We're going to the cabin" bus. As the aliens strip Isaac of his tracking gizmo, they drop this cosmic wisdom nugget. Getting solid evidence in a world that's all about seeing is believing is harder than finding a unicorn with a gi. P.E.S. But wait, the show's not over yet. Agent Graves and his posse roll in, making a perimeter around the cabin faster than a squirrel secures its nut stash for winter. Graves puts on his tough act, telling Carl to step out and sing like a canary, or else. His interrogation topic du jour? Carl's dad, Ranad, Graves, the lumberjack who was playing lumberjack with Carl on that day when abduction went down. Carl, holding a "Don't mess with me" sign in the form of a gun, strolls out and drops a "Sorry, I am all out of info" bombshell about Ronald. But Graves isn't having it. He orders his squad to aim their weapons at the senior citizen. Sarah rushes outdoors to check on Carl, but unexpectedly becomes a target as well. Inside the cabin, Isaac is undergoing the procedure of having his tracker removed. Both Isaac and Zed are actively packing their belongings, getting ready for a getaway. The extraterrestrial beings are gearing up to transition into a different dimension, and they provide Isaac with a piece of advice to hold strong beliefs, which activates his newfound capability. Just in the nick of time, as the police are on the verge of opening fire, Isaac successfully transports Sarah, Carl, and Zed into another dimension, thus saving them from harm. Agent Graves enters the cabin only to discover it devoid of occupants. All 4 individuals have mysteriously vanished. With the assistance of the extraterrestrial beings, both Sarah and Carl experience an astonishing recovery and are restored to life. Half a year later, Sarah and Isaac find themselves falling in love and opt to commence a fresh chapter together in Costa Rica. Isaac's extraordinary ability remains intact. Meanwhile, Carl and Isaac collaborate to establish a new agency. Conversely, due to his reckless actions during the mission, William Graves loses his job. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe Mango Recap for more video like this and help the channel grow.